All right, all right, all right. Great evening, everyone. Great evening. It is day 20 of 28 days of self love. And I know it's late, it's bedtime, it's time to lay it down, but I wanted to hop on really quick to do day number 20 of 28 days of self love. Before we hop into that, let me go ahead and share the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline number, and that number is 1 800 273 8255. Again, 1 800 273 8255. So, y'all know what we've been doing. For those of you who've been tuning in for the past 19 nights, we've been talking about self love, 28 days of self love, and how we are showing ourselves some love, not in a narcissistic way, but showing ourselves some love so we can be in a better position to love others. And on tonight, we have a topic. But before I share that topic, I wanted to let you know that if no one's told you today, you are necessary, you are important, and you are loved. All right. So tonight's topic, and if you can hear, oh, I see someone is on. So great. I was just about to say, if you can hear me, give me a heart or a thumbs up. But I see Ruth. Hello, Ruth. I see your comment. Thanks for tuning in on tonight. Today's topic for night 20, for our 20th day is heal from your past. Heal from your past. And I do realize this one is easier said than it is done. So it's easier said than it is done. And for some of us, we might even need some extra support or extra help. And I want to free y'all on tonight. You know, if you need to talk to someone to get over or heal from your past, it's all right to go talk to a counselor or a therapist. They're there to help. So I'm going to free you. If you feel like that's a bad thing, it's not. Actually, it'll help you move forward. So on tonight, our topic is heal from your past. And I wanted to say, you know, if we choose not to heal from our past, or if we have a failure to forgive, or we have unforgiveness, it is a practice of replaying events from our past, which invokes thoughts of anger, vengeance, hate, or even resentment. And these thoughts over time, you know, we've been talking about how these different topics affect us physically as well as psychologically. So if we're not healing from our past, some things that could take place in our body is increased anxiety. We can have depression. Our blood pressure is elevated. We have vascular resistance. We have a decreased immune response, and then worse outcomes in coronary artery disease. So, as you can see, there are some health benefits to healing from your past. So, if you continue holding on to things that have happened to you years ago, you might can start feeling that in your body. So, forgiveness or healing from your past is our pathway to our physical and psychological well-being. So, if you want to heal from your past, put your attention on your present moment experience. So I'm not saying, hey, you know, just forget about what has happened to you or get over it, as some people may say. It's hard to get over when you've been hurt without processing it properly and doing the proper things in order to move forward. So I'm going to start with some warning signs of allowing you to see if you're still living in the past or you haven't been healed yet. So these are some of the warning signs just to let you know if you're still stuck there. So the first one would be, are you still having conversations that always revert back to certain times, certain people, or certain situations that has affected you? Are you attracted to, or do you attract the same type of people or situations that has caused you pain in the past? Or your disagreements are often surrounded around your past arguments. Or a lot of times you can compare your current situation to your previous one. Sometimes we allow prior trauma or painful events to play in our mind consistently over and over and over again. And then we also have self-sabotaging behaviors that go in line with that. We also have emotional triggers that cause us to think about people or situations in the past. And then our relationships, we begin to fill a void with different people to prevent us from being alone or allowing ourselves not to deal with those past issues. We can always expecting something bad to happen. So sometimes, if something has happened to you in the past that you have not healed from, you you're always looking for something bad to happen, and you're feeling anxious or acting impulsively. And then lastly, you are avoiding new people or new experiences altogether. So those are some of the signs, if you haven't been healed from your past. And so I wanted to, just share that list with you. So if you're tuning in for the very first time, you haven't watched us in the past, we're concentrating on 28 days of self-love. Welcome if this is your first night. Welcome back to those of you who have been tuning in. All right. So as I'm talking, drop me a comment to let me know if you're getting something out of this. I'm going to start with the tips of letting go or healing from your past. And we've all had experiences of being hurt, but what separates us though is how we deal with that pain. So yeah, go through periods of pain. People will offend you, things will happen to you, but it's up to us individually to be able to choose to move forward while processing the pain. So I'm not saying don't be hurt, or you shouldn't be hurt, or you shouldn't be stuck. All those things, I'm not saying that. It's all in how we deal with that pain. So when emotional pain prevents you from healing from a situation, it's a sign that we aren't moving forward in a growth oriented way. So I like to say things can happen to us, but it's our responsibility to learn and grow from that occurrence or that situation. If we get stuck in thinking about what should have been, we could become immobilized in painful feelings and memories. So a lot of times we can go through stuff and we'll say, I can't believe I allowed that to happen, or I can't believe I let that person do that to me. All the things we can say, all the things that when we're in our head, we go through those things. If we continue to allow that reel to play in our mind, we are immobilized and we can't move forward. So first things first, we have to change the way that we talk. We have to change the way that we talk. Again, I say sometimes we tell ourselves, I can't believe I allowed that to happen. We need to change all of those negative things into something positive. Like, I have an opportunity to learn and grow from this situation. And that's what I'm choosing to do. All right, Ruth, you said, let's see, I like how you put that move forward while processing the pain. Yes, it's important for us to move forward while processing the pain. A lot of times we can ignore the fact that we've been hurt, or we can hush those noises that are in our head, or we can say, well, I shouldn't be affected by this. But we're all human. So we have to make sure that we are recognizing and acknowledging the fact that yes, we've been hurt, but we also decide that we want to move forward and not be immobilized or stuck in the situation. And we also need to process that pain. All right, so change the way you're talking. Also, we might want to create physical distance. So if there's someone who's offended you or done something wrong, you might, for a moment, take some time to separate yourself, to process the thing that's really going on or how it's affected you, in order to do so. The next would be focus on yourself. Do your own work. Yes, you're going to have someone who has offended you or things that might be going on, but focusing on yourself in those times is important. You have to make the choice to address the hurt that you've experienced. And when you think about a person who caused you the pain, bring yourself back to the present. And we talked about being in the present on last night and how that's very important for our health as well. So then focus on something that you're grateful for. So don't allow yourself to fall down the rabbit trap of thinking those thoughts in your head, which of course does no good, but causes more harm if you're thinking the thoughts and you're not doing anything with them. So, of course, moving forward while processing the pain and putting in the work to move forward. So make sure that you're present in the moment and you're practicing that mindfulness that we talked about on last night. Also, be gentle with yourself. When other people or friends or someone come to us and they talk about a situation, we're very gentle with them. We're also, very kind to them and loving. We also need to do that with ourselves. Be kind and loving when we're going through those situations, but also allow yourself to feel the pain. A lot of times, growing up, we've been told, that doesn't hurt or you should get over it, all of those things. But that's not true. We need to feel the pain. If we feel the pain, we can acknowledge where the hurt came from, and then we can grow from there. So many times people are afraid of feeling of their feelings of grief, anger, disappointment, and sadness. Rather than feeling them, people just try to shut them out. So we do that a lot of time. We try to shut those feelings out, which can disrupt our process of letting go or healing from our past. We also need to accept that the other person who have offended us, they may never apologize. I'm gonna pause right there. We have to realize that sometimes people who have offended us may never apologize. They may never even know that they've offended us. And so we're stuck where we are. And most times they do, they know that they've offended us, but you might not get an apology, and you have to be okay with the fact that you haven't gotten an apology. So waiting for an apology from the person who hurt you will slow down your process of letting go. And if you're experiencing hurt and pain, it's important for you to take care of your own healing. It's not the offender's responsibility to take care of your healing by extending to you an apology. Yes, they hurt you. Yes, they should apologize. But even if they don't, it's up to you to be able to grow and move forward from that. And so if you're experiencing hurt and pain, it's important for you to take care of your own healing, which may mean accepting that the person who hurt you isn't never, ever going to apologize. And so sit on that for a moment. Because of that, we must engage in self-care. So practicing self-care, and this is what we've been talking about all month long, practicing self-care, showing ourselves some love. So practicing self-care by setting boundaries. That's all a part of taking care of yourself and showing yourself some love. Set those boundaries. Also, again, we talked a couple of days ago about it being okay to say no. So sometimes you have to say no. You also do some things that bring you joy and comfort in those moments, and listen to your own needs first. We talked about, if you're in a airplane and there's something going on, you need the oxygen, you got to put your own oxygen on first before you're able to help anyone else. And believe it or not, and well, we all know it's the truth, hurting people have a tendency to hurt people. Whether it's intentional or not, hurting people have a tendency to hurt people. So the more we implement self-care, or taking care of ourselves, setting those boundaries into our daily lives, the more empowered we are. From that space, our hurts don't feel as overwhelming. Also, we can surround ourselves with supportive people. This is something that's powerful. We can find someone who we love, trust, who also love us, that listening, or the one we turn to when we are finding a place of hurt. Isolation isn't the answer, and that's a lot of time what we turn to. Sometimes, well, it all depends on the person, but we can turn to isolation, and we can isolate ourselves. And then up on top of that, you start feeling like I'm alone. So find a trusted, supportive friend or family member that will help you through the process. And at the beginning of this, I told you I wanted to free you. If you feel like you need a counselor or a therapist, it's okay. It's okay. Find that person, talk about it. Talking is important. Find a friend or therapist who is patient enough and accepting as well, and is willing to be your sounding board. And then give yourself permission to forgive. All right, Ruth, I see you and I am too. Ruth said, I am guilty of isolating. I am too. But you know what? It's time for us to heal and move on and do some things differently. When you know better, you do better. So, and then I do know also that you can't trust everybody. I realize that. But there might be one person that you have close to you who is who loves you enough to help you through the process. All right. And then that leads me to the last one, seek professional help. If you need it, go get it. It's time for us to heal from our past and to be able to grow and move forward. Those are my tips for tonight. If you're watching this and you've gotten something out of it, leave me a comment or a heart or a thumbs up, something. Let me know that, hey, yeah, this helped, or thanks for sharing something. If you're watching this on the replay, thanks for tuning in. We have a couple more nights to go. I will be here on tomorrow. I hope you will also. If no one has told you yet today, let me be the very first to say, you are necessary, you are needed, you are important, and you are loved. I love you. Have a great night.